Awesome. Welcome to Money Making Conversation. I am your host, Rashawn McDonald. Each Money Making Conversation talk show is about entrepreneurship and entertainment. I provide the consumer and business owner access to celebrities, CEOs, entrepreneurs, and industry decision makers. I recognize that we all have different definitions of success. For some, it's a sizable paycheck. Mine is helping people wake up and inspiring them to accomplish their goals and live the life that they want to live their passion, see their gifts through, see it to the end. Because I want you to stop tripping over small obstacles, because there's some bigger obstacles out there. In fact, don't even hop over a small obstacle. Walk right through it. See it through, my friend. Because on Money Making Conversations, I invite people on my show to create relatable information so you as a listener can learn about how you can be successful in your career, your financial planning, entrepreneurship, motivation, leadership, overcoming the odds, which I do on a daily basis, and more importantly, how to live a balanced life. My next guest, she's on the phone. Last time she was on the phone, she was talking about her curvy clothing line, which is fantastic. She's on the show today, talk about a movie I just watched on Lifetime, the legendary Clark sisters. She's been singing professionally since the age of 9 and releasing a 6th studio album entitled Kierra on April 17th. The album's first single was Don't Judge, featuring Missy Elliot. Her latest single is called It Keeps Happening and is out now. She's on the show to talk about that, the Lifetime biopic, the Clark sisters, the first ladies of gospel, premiering on Lifetime on April 11th. My guest portrays her mother in the movie and does an amazing job. You know she can sing, but she can act too. Welcome to Money Making Conversations, my friend, KiKi Sheard.
Hey there. Thank you so much for that amazing welcome.
Well, first of all, it's a blessing, because we live a life filled with blessing despite our times. And to be able to interview people during these trying times, to provide good quality content so people can, move on with their life, don't feel like they're being bored or tied down and everything's a repeat. It's a blessing to me, and to be able to get you on my show to talk about this amazing movie. You kind of dropped a hint on me last time I interviewed you last year about this movie was coming. Now it's out. Just before I get into my details and start just talking about how much I loved it and, the acting and everything, just talk about the experience of getting it to the screen.
It was a blast. It took hard work. It took dedication. It took commitment. And I was super grateful for the opportunity. It's a dream for me, and it's personal for me. It's not just, an opportunity, but this is something that I had to do, or that I wanted to do in honor of my mother,
right.
To pay respect to her, and having the opportunity to, again, pay homage to her, but pay honor to her to this magnitude, and having the dream come true while I'm doing it. That's just absolutely amazing. And it's a good story. It's not like whack or anything. So it was all fun. It took work, like I said, and it took me focusing in and zoning in. But it was a great experience.
Well, the thing about, we're in the Me Too generation, the two of the executive producers on the show, Louisa Jones for the movie, good friend, has done a lot for my career and Steve Harvey's career. Holly Carter, another talented television producer, film producer, music producer, was one of the executive producers on the film project. So when I saw their names, I knew, all, like they said, loose ends will be tied correctly. And the body of work will be respected, correct?
Absolutely. All of that. You got it right. And not only that, but those names that you've mentioned, not only are they responsible for successful stories and successful work, but they also are considerate of people of faith, and they're not just anxious to just let a story out and to put out drama, but they want it to make sense, and they keep the talent's lives in mind. And so I pay respect to them for that, for telling a beautiful story, but making sure that it's intact. So it's exactly what you said.
So the story we're talking about is the Clark sisters, the first ladies of gospel, premiering on Lifetime on April 11th. Okay. There are certain dates that are important. The movie starts out in 1963 in Detroit, and the Clark sisters, the mom, Dr. Mattie Moss Clark, she was kind of like, it was referenced kind of like the Joe Jackson of the time for gospel. But, when I looked at this movie, I didn't know what to expect. Kierra, KiKi, I'll be honest with you, because I was going, is it going to be a wholesome movie? Is it going to be gloss over? Is it going to be dramatic? What is it going to be? You guys told an effective story, over a long period of time, and then hold back. Didn't hold back.
Yeah, it was really good.
And when I say that, I mean that, your grandfather, he was, I have to say the word abusive, okay? And then the mom, she was a blessing, but she was also a tyrant, because she was so God fearing that she didn't see any other dreams that weren't tied to God. She didn't want to hear it. And in some ways, when you tell that story, you realize that the success of the Clarks was tied to a person who understood, and that's the mom. She understood everybody's gifts. She understood she was focus driven, but she didn't bend at all. And when you start telling a story like this and you're playing an actual role in the story, how do you play off? How do you deal with, telling some stories that might not be flattering, but the story you want to tell is the right or close to the right story? How did you take that?
How did I take it? Can you ask that question one more time?
Okay, cool. No problem. Here's a show, a movie that's appearing on Lifetime, and sometimes the characters that were part of your personal life weren't flattering. Like the role of Niecy, we saw how that played out in the movie. Your grandmother, Dr. Maddie, she was a tyrant. I have to use the word. I'm not incorrect when I use the word. She had tyrant tendencies. She was overbearing. She was goal driven. She was a taskmaster. She thought her way was the highway type approach. When you're doing a show like that, or a movie like that, or a film like this, how does it play on you to say, this doesn't look good for my grandmother, but this is to tell the story correctly, we got to tell this side of her. How did that play for you emotionally in this project?
Well, first, I wouldn't say that she was a tyrant, because what's associated with tyrant is oppression and more like a cruel ruler kind of thing, if I'm not mistaken by that definition. Okay. I will say, though, that she was a strong woman, and I do think that obviously this new generation may not agree with some ways, as we don't agree with a lot of ways of the traditional approach. However, we see what it has done for them. Right. And it actually has allowed me to honor the ways that they have led their children, speaking of the generations before. And to answer your question, though, I think everybody has a story. So how I was able to still move along and still honor those who were still a part of blazing the trail is I choose the meat and spit out the bones. There are some people that we are overly obsessed with and we love dearly, but not every way that they choose or decision that they make is the best thing to do. So that's how I would say I choose to move forward. I think that my grandmother, she had to be that way because, again, she was a woman in leadership. Right. And if we noticed, she had to fight. She had a challenge, or I'll just say a challenge, with men on both sides, whether it was in her home or if it was in her public leadership form. So I would say, you choosing me to spit out the bones. That's such is life. That's what comes with it. And I was still glad to be a part of the story. It's a beautiful story because her legacy still lives on. And very often we put to a woman who is strong and who sticks to their guns that they have this negative way of doing things, or they are this negative kind of person. But if it's a man, then it's considered to be different. And so I'm excited that her story is able to be told in this time and in this day, because we're now acknowledging women in history, pioneers who are women, female pioneers, and so forth. So, that's how I'm able to push past the story. She's inspiring. She's an ambitious woman. And again, she stuck to her gun. Well,
great. And that's why I wanted to talk about that, because we all can have perceptions. And, and believe me, when I used the word tyrant, it was only in a role of being a person who wills their way, and her way was same note, be on key, Twinkie was with her all the time, and Twinkie, because I don't want to tell the story, but I want to let everybody know that the years that were important in this story, because they on the screen they show you different years that are important. Like I said, 1963, it was in Detroit when Motown was blazing, but she wanted to follow the path of gospel. Then they went to 1973, 1976 was really kind of like their first performance. 1982, big concert. 1989, but along the way, like she stated, your mom had to deal with male promoters who stiffed her or underpaid her. Mm-hmm. She had to deal with church council, which was, when I looked at that scene, it was nothing but men telling her or reprimanding her, and also dealing with the fact that she had the courage to get out of a bad marriage. And she said she didn't want her daughters cooking or cleaning. So she always had a more upwardly mobile approach to what her daughters could be and should be. She just saw a talent, and she saw that talent as their way out.
Right.
And that is what played strong to me in the movie. And that is what, when you're playing the role of your mom now we're coming close to home. Her character. Did you talk to your mom about the character? Or you saw the script? How did you develop and play that role out?
Yeah, I did talk to my mom about it. But most of what I did, because I didn't want to use my mom as a cheat sheet, but I did do my ways of interviewing her and asking her questions here and there. But I did a lot of studying her by just looking at some of her interviews and how she interacts, because I'm used to her acting as mommy, and of course I saw a lot of her as a wife and the first lady and all that. But as a sister, I needed to watch more closely to that. So I did YouTube videos, and I watched her interviews and all of that. So that was how I prepared.
Well, the thing about it is, let me just say this to everybody. I'm talking to KiKi Sheard. KiKi is a nickname. And we're talking about the Lifetime movie that she starred in, the legendary Clark sisters. This will be on the screens April 11th on all television sets and streaming and all those good things. When you look at Destiny's Child, they have been called the most celebrated female group of all time. The legendary Clark sisters have to be considered the most celebrated female group in gospel music history because of what they've accomplished, the concert tickets sold, the singles, the album. I believe that Twinkie has written over 250 songs in her lifetime. That is a title that you can't take away. That's a title that they earned. And that's a title they earned despite, challenges in a male-dominated industry, challenges when people you thought was doing you a favor, putting the right contract in front of you, and it's not the right contract in front of you, and challenges that your mom was on the road trying to make this happen in a male-dominated society. That's why you're saying, Rashawn, this is perfect. In a generation that needs to understand that women can do it, we could not have released this movie at a better time, correct?
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that.
Awesome. But before we get off the phone, I want to talk about your new album. Tell us about the new album, young lady, that's dropping April 17th, so we can get some more inspiration, get some more gospel love.
Absolutely. The album is coming out April 17th, and I'm really excited about that. I currently have a new single out called It Keeps Happening. And the movie opportunity and the Macy's partnership and so many other great things that the Lord is doing. I just, the song was inspired by that, and I decided to say, what, great things are happening and keeps happening for me. And I'm just blessed by it. So the new single is out, and that's the message of it. It's a song that is declaring goodness and great possibilities over my life, over my family's life. And so it's a song, though, that everyone can relate to, and you can make it your declaration. And it looks like that's what we have been doing. So it's a special song, and I can't wait for everyone to hear this new music. Again, that's April 17th, and the movie is coming out April 11th. Okay, you mentioned the Macy's partnership. A lot of people are shopping online. Tell us about that Macy's partnership. Yeah, so my clothing line 1160 is a curvy line, a line for curvy women, plus size women, and it's available on Macy's.com, and I'm super excited about that opportunity. And that's pretty much it. We did a pop-up shop. We were supposed to do another pop-up shop, but because of the current situation, we've not been able to. Absolutely. So, Yeah, I'm really looking
But
forward
we can't
to
drive
more
people
to do.
online, and that's what the thing. People are shopping online. People are accepting deliveries at their homes and their apartments and their condos around the country, and people still want to look good. So
Absolutely.
so that's why I didn't want to. I'd be remiss to say Macy's partnership and not bring it up in this interview, because that's about body image. That's about women, who are curvy, finding clothes that make them look good, make them feel good. And that's what this show is all about, being able to point out and having honest conversations with my guests and being correct if they feel I've stepped too far in a definition of somebody that they feel is important in their life, to be able to get that message out correctly. So with that being said, April 11th, the movie premieres on Lifetime. The Clark Sisters. April 17th, the album drops. Right now, you're dealing with a fantastic partnership with Macy's that you can go online for your curvy clothing line, correct?
Yes, sir.
Cool.
That's it.
My dear, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Just do me one favor, tell your people to contact my people. Give me a banner so I can put on my website, because I can put on my social media. I almost got 1 million followers. You know I will support you. I support you every time. So I need a banner for the movie or a trailer for the movie. I need a banner for your album to drop, and I need a banner for your Macy's online clothing. And then that's what you call love there, KiKi.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for the support. I sincerely appreciate
I support you, and God bless you, girl. Okay, and keep winning.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Rashawn McDonald. If you want to hear more episodes of Money Making Conversations, go to moneymakingconversations.com. I'm Rashawn McDonald.